Today, I'm doing something just a little bit different. First of all, happy 4th. Happy 4th of July, y'all. I hope you're having a safe time and a fun time with friends and family, wherever you are, and you're getting some good food and good drinking. Moving right along. So, this woman's video came across my feed earlier today, and I decided I'm going to do something a little different. So let's get into it and stop talking. I'm gonna back her up just a little bit because she had some good healthy stuff. I think she's drinking like a turmeric ginger mixture. She got some good stuff going on there. She looked fabulous for 56. I want you to know that, sis. If you happen to see this video, you look fabulous, darling. Deep breath, mama.
It was Monday, May 18th. I woke up, took a shower, got dressed, packed my lunch, and it felt like a normal day. I walked in the building and put my stuff down, got my desk organized, and about 10 minutes later after I got there, my coworker walked in. She and I chit-chatted a little bit, and she asked me how was my weekend. I shared with her how my weekend was, and I said, but you know what's interesting is I was feeling fine up until I walked into this building onto this floor.
Red flag.
And I feel like something's going to happen today. And she giggled a little bit because our company went through a massive layoff in October. We lost 9,000 people, were displaced.
Did you hear what she just said? Last October, they displaced 9,000 people. Let's continue.
And she said, I've been feeling like this since October. And I said, I know, but today for me, it feels very heavy. And she goes, yeah, I don't know what it could be. So, we were chit-chatting and I said, listen, I need to put my lunch in the refrigerator and I need to go downstairs and grab something just in case something does happen. At least I can take it on a full stomach. And as we're sharing this and we're laughing, we look and our VP walks in. And what made that strange is that our VP normally doesn't walk in until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's 7:30 in the morning and he's there. So we both looked at each other. We waved to him, we said hi, but we both looked at each other and went, okay, that's odd. 5 minutes later, the HR business partner walks in right behind him and goes in his office. And that's when it was confirmed to the both of us. I said, see, I told you. Didn't I tell you something was going to happen today? And we laughed a little bit because we have no control over things. I couldn't control what was going to happen, whatever it was. And so I went and put my bag in the refrigerator, went downstairs, and as I'm ordering my food, I get a buzzing, my phone vibrates, my work phone, and I look at it, and it's a one-on-one with the VP that I just saw for 9 o'clock in the morning for 15 minutes, just him and I. And the subject is organization update. I knew right then and there. I decided not to complete my breakfast because I was trying to run back to see if my coworker received the same email.
You should have completed your breakfast, doll face. And then that way, when they gave you the news, you could just been so upset. Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. Anyhow.
So I'm running up the stairs. I can't find her anywhere. I decided to call the other two people on my team. One of them works remote in a different state, and the other one, she normally arrives around 8:30 or so, 8:39, a quarter to 9. So I wanted to catch her before she arrived, and I called her immediately, and I asked her to check her calendar to see if she received an email invite from our VP, and she did. And hers was for 9:40. I said, is this the subject? She said, yes. We called our other coworker who's out of state. He also confirmed that he received it. So mine was at 9, his was at 9:15, and my other coworker his was at 9:20. My other coworker was at 9:40. They were all for 15-minute increments. And I said, guys, today's the day that we lose our jobs. Yes, it's not a if, it's today is the day that we are losing our jobs. And yes, this is the same company that laid me off in 2018. Yes. So now I've been laid off twice by the same company, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I walked into the conference room 2 minutes early because what's the point, right? May as well rip the Band-Aid off. I walk in the room, but what alarmed me was that there was the VP and with him was the director of employee relations. Why is that strange? Well, because normally it's the hiring manager and the HR business partner.
I already know where she's going to go with this. And I'm telling you, that was fear, because she's a black woman. And chances are her coworkers might have been as well. They were probably a little scared. What's going to happen when we tell these women that they're no longer employed with us? What might they do? Let's see if I'm right.
And it wasn't. It was the VP and the director of employee relations. They brought in the big guns for this. And what I thought immediately when I saw that was, you have 3 minorities that are getting laid off. What were they expecting? Were they expecting drama? Were they expecting retaliation? Why have the director of employee relations here is what my thought process was. So I walk in, I sit down, and the VP, whom, by the way, I escorted on his first day for his interview. I escorted on his first day when he was hired. We have history. 23 and a half years ago. He was also the person that I reached out to when I got laid off and I wanted to go back to the company. And I asked him about this opening and he said, yes, Lissette, it's on my team. I'll push your resume along. And he was able to make it happen for me to get hired. So we have great history. This man is sitting next to me as robotic. His eyes were sunken in. You can tell he had not slept. And I ask him, what are the changes? And he's not able to share with me what the changes are. They're saying there's a restructuring. And unfortunately, my position has been eliminated. And because of that, I am eligible for a package. And he says, I'll have this person, the director of employee relations, go over with you what those specifics are. But I'm not at liberty to discuss what the changes are because we haven't shared them with the broader department. And then he says, I'm going to hand this over to the director of ER for him to explain further. And so I'm looking at this director of ER and I had never met him a day in my life. And he's looking at me, smiling, right? Shares with me what my package is, smiling the entire time. And I'm thinking, is it me or is this person just a little off? Has this person never been coached on how to behave and to fix his facial expressions in a matter like this? So he's smiling the whole time, sharing with me what my severance package is. And then he asks me with the biggest smile of all, oh, Lissette, where are you parked today? Where exactly are you parked? And I'm looking at him like, first of all, I've been through this. Everything you're telling me is something I've already heard before. But I'm in a much clearer mind this time around. I'm more, I have my bearings with me. I'm more confident. I am not emotional. I needed to make sure that I was not emotional through all of this. My husband, when I called him to tell him of the meeting invite that I got, he knows how to speak life into me. And he said, Lissette, he didn't say Lissette, he calls me babe. He said, babe, we got this. You're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Just get your stuff and get out of there and come home. It's all going to be okay.
That's right.
Don't get emotional. It's fine. I said, okay,
show.
You're right. It is fine. It is. And so
never show them emotion. When they fire you, when they let you go, when they, are downsizing, and never show emotion, particularly if you're a woman and particularly if you look like me. Don't do that because you're just feeding in to, you heard what she said, the man was smiling. Now either that's a nervous tick or maybe possibly he really actually was enjoying it. Who knows? Never, ever be emotional if you ever get let go. Something tells me she went out with grace. You go out just like her. Okay, let's continue.
So, when I looked at this director of ER and I looked at him and I said, and he looks at me, he goes, what's the matter? I said, I'm trying to figure that out because I'm having a hard time listening to you while you're smiling. Do you realize that I'm losing my job today and you're smiling? I think that requires a little bit of coaching so that your facial expression matches what's actually happening in the room. I don't know how to feel about this. And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was doing it." Oh, well, you are, and you have been the entire time. I said, "You've been smiling the entire time, as if I'm getting a promotion, but I'm not. I'm losing my job." So I was really annoyed. I was very visibly annoyed by that. And then I looked at the VP and I said, "I have a couple of questions, and one of them is really directed for you." And I said, I brought you on, I escorted you, right? I went through everything I just said to you. And I said, and when I decided to come back, you were very pivotal in helping me come back to the company. Even while I was out and you were at this other company, you helped me, you gave me referrals, you were nice enough to do that. And I just want to ask you, and I did this because I wanted to check his emotional barometer. Because corporations need to get away from being so robotic in moments like this and know that the person across from you is a human being. You are completely turning their life up.
Companies and corporations do not teach EQ. They don't teach emotional intelligence. They don't. They don't have classes on it. I worked in state government for over a decade, and what she's saying is absolutely true, because when they let you go, they are like trained to like not be emotional, don't show any, just robotic is the word. That is absolutely correct. They don't have training in that. They don't. Should they? Absolutely. Because you are literally affecting in a very negative way, 9 times out of 10, this person's livelihood. I mean, luckily for her, she has a partner. So hopefully, they'll be okay. But what if she was single? What if she was divorced? What if she were widowed? What if she didn't have savings? See, these are the things as women we should be constantly thinking about, because you never know when it's going to be you.
Upside down, you are disrupting their lives, and you're reading a script. You're reading a damn script. So my question to him was, and again, this was to check his emotional barometer. My question to him was, based on what I just shared with you, if I could use you as a reference. His bottom lip dropped. He had no idea what to say to me. He had no idea what to respond. My immediate reaction was, listen, if you're uncomfortable with it, if it's not something you want to do, I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with it. I just wanted to ask. And he said, it took him a few seconds to get himself together. And he said, no, he goes, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that question. I'm not prepared for that question. I said, I bet you're not. And so when I asked the VP to check his emotional barometer on this, and the way he answered me was, yes, of course. Yes, I would love to. It would be my pleasure to do so. I knew that was BS, because he shouldn't have been so shocked if he knew and remembered who he was talking to, right? And so the fact that it required him to take a few seconds to get himself together to just say, I wasn't prepared for that answer. I didn't know that was an answer you needed to be prepared for, because again, we have history. So I immediately knew, okay, I know how to take this. Even though he said yes, I know it's a no, right? Please don't kind of thing. Because my last day was effective that day. So I had my phone, I had already powered it down. I handed my phone over to the VP and
I'm sorry, I got to interject. They want 2 weeks notice from us. And I understand that they're giving her severance, but it's effective that day. We're letting you go effective right now. We're going to go get your shit. And you go have yourself a good day. Effective 9:00 in the morning. We're going to pay you until 10. We're going to be nice and pay you till 10. Other than that, yeah, effective today. But they want us to give them 2 weeks. and they have a stroke if they don't get that full 2 weeks. I have a story to tell you all about something that happened to me with that, but another day, another video. Let's continue.
Yard. And I said, can we not do that? My bags are packed. I just need to go grab them and I can leave. Can we not make this any worse? It's already bad. Can we just treat each other as humans here for a second? Just let me grab my bags. And he wouldn't answer me. He just looked at the other guy. And the other guy, sure, yeah, absolutely. I can walk you over. So he walks me over, and the coworker that I had been talking to that morning, she was standing at her desk and completely white and not knowing what to do, where to look. And I grab my bags, and as I'm leaving, I wave to her. I yell her name, and I wave to her. I go, bye. And I walked out. I have not shed a tear. I have not shed a tear. I have not lost sleep. I slept so great that week. Because, listen, what God has for you will not pass you. I believe that with my entire soul. The first time this happened to me, I hit probably the worst rock bottom of the version of me that I could have ever reached. I was depressed. I became a severe alcoholic. I was not taking care of myself. I was abusing my body, in my food, in my habits, all of it. I was a train wreck. Not this time.
I know that's what I said. So that video by Lissette was phenomenal. Lissette, hats off to you, baby girl. You did your thing. You gave the details. You told us what happened, what's going on, and most importantly, how you're doing now and how you're moving forward. But this video popped up in my feed earlier today, and I've never done a reaction video before. This is my first one. Most reaction videos that I see on YouTube are, for entertainment purposes and about silly stuff. Shits and gigs. I watch them all the time. All they do is reaction videos. But I wanted to react to this because her story I have seen play out time and time and time again in just about every industry that I have worked in. And I wrote down a couple of things because she mentioned some stuff that I really want to touch upon. And when she was talking about when they called her into the room and when she was sitting there and the gentleman, the VP, I believe, who she onboarded 23 years prior, and she asked, can I use you as a reference? And his response was, as he stuttered and he hesitated, was that, what did she say? He said, it caught me off guard. Your question caught me off guard. And she was like, yeah, I bet it did. Of course it caught him off guard because, I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt. Oftentimes, we have to keep in mind, because we get very personal, unless you're working for a small mom and pop shop, when these layoffs come and when, your walking papers are handed to you, it's not being handed to you by that individual per se. Keep in mind that these people are simply middlemen, and there are people certainly much higher than them that are pulling strings and making these decisions. And they're just the ones that are being made to go ahead and provide you with the bad news, right? But you never know. He wasn't in the room alone with her. There was another person in the room with him. So maybe under different circumstances, maybe he might have been like, Lissette, you know what? Call me. I'm so sorry. I got you. Maybe he didn't feel that he could say that with the company that was in the room with him. So, who knows? I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. He said that, or she said that she never again will give anyone that much control over her life. And I thought that was absolutely eye-opening, an awakening statement to make, and beautiful that she was so confident. We should never allow anyone to have that much control over us. But see, this is what I talk about when I talk about having an automated system, creating your products, right? And putting them out in the ether. Because when you do that, you take back your control. You have absolutely no control. And she said it in the beginning when she started the video. She's like, I have no control over what's going to happen today. She had a kind of a sickening feeling in her stomach. She felt like something was up. Intuition speaking, we always want to turn our back on our intuition. And I learned a long time ago how important it is to listen to that gut feeling, right? Because your gut is nothing more than your second brain. If you don't believe me, look it up. So when we align ourselves with companies, when we align ourselves with people who hold the purse strings, you have to understand that you are handing yourself over to someone that has the right to either keep you or let you go. They have that power because they hold the purse strings. They make the decisions. You're just an employee. So in today's day and age, with the onset of generative AI, with, our ability to create all kind digital products, apps, everything is at our fingertips right now. We can create it. Everything is at our fingertips. All we need, right, is a little help. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever. But we can create these things. I created my own emergency exit relocation guide for people that are looking to quickly leave, particularly the US. I don't care what country you're in. If you want to get out, I created a guide for that because I saw what was coming years ago. I saw the changes. They were small, but I saw them. When you see things in advance, it allows you the flexibility to be able to move, right? So when you see something coming, she mentioned again in the video, I love this about it. She's like, I was in this position, but I didn't feel right. I was seeing things, right, that made me uneasy. It didn't make me feel comfortable because that was her inner voice talking to her. That's all. That was spirit talking to her. Lissette, baby girl, it's time to go. And I've been in those positions, and I know if you're watching this, you've probably been in those positions too, right? But you stay. Why? Because you don't have any other options, or so you think, right? So you stay and you put up with the bull crap. You stay and you allow people to continuously step all over you, walk all over you. You allow people to mistreat you, to mishandle you, all because you need a few coins from them to be able to live your life. You don't have to live like that. And the last thing that I'm going to say is when she said, what God has for you will not pass you. So true. But the thing that we need to remember is we have to stay locked in, right? You have to stay focused. You have to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Everyone doesn't have that. But if you're coming across videos in your feed that are talking about layoffs and firings and, mass things happening to people that are being let go. She said like I told you in the beginning of the video was very long. I think her video was like almost 50 minutes long. So this is my first reaction and I wasn't comfortable. I can't sit there and kind of react to the whole video. It's too much and I don't want to cause myself any issues with YouTube. But I encourage you to watch that entire video because she goes on to do some backstory about her employment. And she mentioned, she's like, they were letting go 9,000 people in this company. I don't know if the company's statewide, nationwide. I don't know. She didn't mention the company. But 9,000 people were going to lose their jobs. 9,000 people were getting pink slips. 9,000. And in her unit or where her department or whatever it was 3. She was one of 3. That after the reorganization, they were let go. Here's the thing that I don't even know if these people that are these HR individuals and these, VPs and such, I don't even think that they're aware. Come here. You're next. Don't think that you are somehow above reproach. AI's coming for you too. You're going to be in the lineup with all the people that you let go. You're going to be standing in line right behind them. It's going to happen. So with that, being said, let me bring it full circle. The reason why I did the reaction video is because this channel is about empowering women to take time out. If you have a job, hold on to your job. If you're not being mistreated, if you're not, and things are going okay, hold on to your job. But what I'm saying to you is that you need to look at another way of generating income for yourself, because I can almost certainly promise you 4 or 5 years, your job is not going to be there. Could I be wrong? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a genie in a bottle, and I don't have, a magic wand or, some magic globe that I'm looking into. But I'm watching what's happening economically. I'm watching what's happening financially. I'm watching these companies slowly bleed money, and I'm watching them turning to AI as a way of alleviating the hole in the cup and of generating more profit for themselves and their company and their stakeholders. So, legacy builders will give you the ability to learn the skills. You heard her say in her video, she said, I learned so much there. I learned so much that I was able to take those skills and apply them to my next role. That's what you can do too. But you can do it for yourself. You don't have to apply for another position. If you have a job, hold on to it. But learn skills where you can begin to take what you have up here, your knowledge, your skills, your personal experiences, the obstacles that you've overcome, the challenges that you've been through, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, whatever. You have information in your head that someone else out there in the world needs right now. We don't all come equipped with knowing everything. Some of us are old souls. Some of us are young souls. But everyone needs help at some point in time in life. You can provide them with that help and get paid while you do it. The reason why Legacy Builders is so, I keep promoting it so strong is that, yes, I am a legacy builder and I'm a part of that glorious, beautiful community, and I'm proud to say so. But the other thing is that Legacy Builders teaches you the skills that you need, right? It's like a online learning school platform. And I hear people, even online, talking about, they're going to go to this, they're going to take this course, they're going to try and learn this skill here, they're going to go to a community, whatever the case may be. I'm telling you that regular, education that is provided in kind of a brick and mortar setting is about to go wayside. Because when you can learn everything online at the click of your fingers, why would institutions even put out the money to keep, paying for lighting, having to pay to have, your buildings upkeep going? Why would you do that? It's just a waste. Everything is going to be online. And why would you pay for a course that you can only take one time? When I went to college, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I got my degree, I took classes, right? And when the class was over, I got a grade, right? The grade went on my transcript, but I couldn't go back and get more information when the class advanced, when the class got, when the class got access to more information. Z, come on back. Yeah, because there's been some changes, and we want to keep you, make sure you fresh and up to date with the changes in whatever. That doesn't happen today. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong. That doesn't happen. When you get this program, you have access to a community and you have access to the course catalog, which is always continuously being updated with the latest information. You're not going to get that paying $3,000 for a class that you take one time. When you get this program, you have it for life. As things are constantly changing, you will be on the end. You will know what's changing. And you will be able to apply those changes to do what? To generate more products, to generate more revenue for yourself. Now, people say, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. It's a scam. Everyone says that something's a scam until they understand it. I said the same thing. I sat on the sidelines. I heard about legacy builders. I didn't pull the trigger until 8 months later. And my biggest regret, waiting them 8 months. Because where could I be right now had I went on ahead and jumped into it when I learned about it back in like March or April of 25? Where would I be now? People are afraid to take leaps, right? Because of the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen on the other side. Here's what I will tell you. I don't know what's going to happen on the other side for you. I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of me, for me. But here's what I do know. If I don't take some form of action, things will just stay the same. I don't know about you. I don't want my life to stay the same. I want to constantly be doing the 4 things that I say that we were put on the plan to do. Live, love, learn, and grow. That's what I'm here to do. And financially, from a career perspective, Legacy Builders can help me do that. And then the bonus, on top of all that, you get all these skill sets. You get this wonderful community that you can interact with every single day. You get mentoring, personal mentoring. Michelle O'Neill, who started this program, I don't know how, I don't even know how the woman can hold down her family and everything else that she got going on, because every time I go, there's a live, there's a live, there's a live, there's a training, something's happening, and she is front and center, handling business for all of us, trying to help us grow, giving us the information so that we can build upon the skills, right? And we can evolve. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you grow. The world that we are in now is changing at a rate that I have never felt before. It is actually palpable how quickly things are changing. That's the age of technology. I'm telling you right now, I said it earlier, if you don't act like a hot dog and catch up, you are going to be lost in the sauce. It's not just about learning the skills. You want to have those skill sets, because with technology and where it is going in the future, where are you going to be if you don't know how to maneuver AGI? If you don't know how to give a proper prompt, how are you going to get the thing? I'm telling you, the world is changing in a way that we have never seen before. We have to be smart about how we move into our future. And the smartest thing that anyone can do for themselves right now, particularly if you're a woman, and absolutely if you're a woman of color, is to be able to generate income for yourself without having to depend on anyone else. It is critical. It is critical. It is critical. I could sit here and be like, oh, happy-go-lucky. And, and there are some people in the community that are like that. They just get on. They're just so, and I'm glad. I'm happy too. But I'm also feeling urgency, an urgency that you need to feel. You need to feel it. I don't want anyone to wake up and have to deal with what Lissette had to deal with. And it's going to happen. I'm just so grateful that she has a husband, and clearly he works and he has her back, and they're going to be okay. And she, I think, has already found something else that she's moved on to, which is wonderful. But everyone's not going to be that fortunate. I'm telling you right now. Everyone's not going to be that fortunate. And even if you are, you still need to have your own way of generating income for the protection of yourself and of your family. There is no guarantee that the job you are in today will be there for you tomorrow. So that's all I have for you today, lovelies. I thank you for sticking around. I think this is the longest video I have ever done. So I thank you for sticking around. Thank you for showing up for the reaction. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. If you would like to see more videos like that. I do like doing them because, you know, I come in and I give a lot of statistics and news and things of that nature regarding what's going on. Particularly with women and women of color regarding the economy. But here's the thing. I just want everyone to win. And I want all of you all to be well. And I want all of you to be secure financially so that when times get really, really, really hard, you don't have to struggle and you don't have to suffer. So if you want to learn more about Legacy Builders and how it can help you build that financial security for yourself, that you can grow and you can water and watch it just get bigger and bigger and bigger and expand and expand. And what you have up here, you can share with the world and bring so much joy and help someone else in need. So that's all I got today. I will be back tomorrow with another video. I thank you so much for sticking around. And remember to always speak your truth. Till next time. Bye.